Sup guys, it's just new user here, and today we're going to talk about the story of Team Creed. Let's start with Raging Dad. Raging Dad is one of the main characters, mostly antagonist of the now terminated YouTube channel, Team Creed. He is the hostile and aggressive father of the Creed-Obialo family, who usually acts this way towards his kids, such as Evander, the one who records the videos, and Kian, the older brother of Evander, who is usually seen with him in the videos, repeatedly yelling at the former to stop recording every time he notices him doing so, usually threatening to break the camera or throw it away. As his name suggests, he is the hostile, aggressive, and raging father of the Team Creed-Obialo family who abuses his kids, such as Evander, Kian, sometimes Obi, and other times Cody, with the former being the one who records the videos. When he notices that Evander is recording, he repeatedly yells at him to turn off the camera, otherwise he will grab it and either throw it in the trash or destroy it. He is usually seen watching TV on the couch before his kids interfere. He is also shown to not even care for the lives of his own kids. So Raging Dad breaks in Evander's room and he said, "Where is Cody League of Legends card?" And when Evander said, "I don't have his League of Legends cards," his dad decided to smash the back of the TV once. So when Raging Dad comes into the house, Evander wants Raging Dad to play the maze game, and he saw a creepy image. When he got through the end of the game, Raging Dad decided to go get the hammer and smash the table. When he kicks Evander out of the house, he doesn't even allow him to get his stuff, or his clothes, first, as according to him, since he bought the stuff, they're his. While that may be true, they still belong to Evander, as he bought those clothes specifically for him, and he has the right to take his belongings with him. And when Evander asks how is he going to live, the dad says that he doesn't care, as he did that to himself, despite him being the one kicking him out the house in the first place. He also tends to destroy his kids' stuff for little to no reason, such as when he smashed Evander's laptop with a hammer after the latter showed him a video that revealed that Onianen, his aunt, was the one who broke the vase and not him. When Evander tries to get him to stop, the dad pushes him towards a ladder, causing him to get hurt, which is obviously child abuse. In another video, when Evander and Kian go back to the house after being kicked out, Kenneth burns his Nike Airs and Jordans, and even threatens to call the cops on him and Evander for walking on their own premises, which is swatting. He has repeatedly kicked his children out of the house multiple times, usually for little to no reason. The first time he kicked Evander out of the house was all because he didn't pay a $300 rent, destroying his phone because of it, which doesn't really make sense since it would usually be the parents paying the rent and not the children. When he kicked Evander and Kian out of the house, he doesn't even allow them to get their stuff, not even clothes or even some food, first, because according to the father, since he bought the stuff, they're his. Forcing the two to go to Walmart to buy clothes, with Evander wearing nothing but a towel, socks, and sandals, and Kian, his older brother, recording him, and when they attempt to go back to the house just to have a talk with their dad, the latter harshly kicks them back out again and even tries to throw a few things at them, breaking the items in the process. He also tends to destroy his kids' stuff for little to none, or otherwise petty reasons. He destroys Cody's Xbox controller, all because he didn't move the console into his room. While one could argue that Cody should have just listened to his dad, the latter could have just handled the situation better instead of smashing an expensive controller onto the floor. In Raging Dad hammers laptop over truth, he destroys Evander's laptop, all because he showed him a video that was evidence that Onianen, his aunt, was the one who broke the vase and not him. At first, the dad ignores him and tells him to get that shit out of here, but then reluctantly agrees to see the video. However, he puts the laptop against the wall and smashes it with his hammer, and when Evander tries to get him to stop, the dad shoves him to a ladder, causing him to get hurt, which is child abuse. He destroyed Evander's phone just for him not paying a $300 rent, as mentioned above, which doesn't really make sense because normally it would be the parents paying the rent and not the children. In Raging Dad takes down tent, after finding out that the two have been sleeping outside in a tent in the middle of the neighborhood, he takes it down and destroys it, implying that he does not want his children to be living in the neighborhood at all, despite the tent not even being close to the house at all. In Team Creed burns Nike and Jordans in fire, the Dead burns Kian's shoes on fire, and even threatens to call the cops on both him and Evander just for them walking on their own premises. In the same video as mentioned above, when Sebastian, their friend, asks Kenneth if he truly loves his children, he claims that he can do whatever he wants to them, openly admitting that he is an abuser. He does not care for the lives of his own kids. As mentioned above, when he kicks Evander and Kian out of the house, he doesn't allow them to get their stuff first, not even their clothes or even food, indirectly killing his children, forcing Evander to have to break in the house to retrieve his stuff, and as well as some food, before finally leaving. In the video titled Forced to Work, hence the title, he forces Evander to work, putting him under child labor, and confiscates his Xbox after the latter told him that he was getting ready to become a YouTube streamer, attempting to prevent him from achieving his other goals, despite Evander already had been making a decent amount of money from the Team Creed YouTube channel at the time. He along with Cody start a garage sale in which they attempt to sell all of Evander and Kian's shoes after kicking them out, which is essentially theft as the Dead clearly did not get any sort of consent from neither Evander nor Kian before attempting to sell them. That's it for Raging Dead story. Next it is the Raging Kid Cody story. Raging Kid Cody is one of the main characters of the now terminated YouTube channel, Team Creed. He is the troublemaker of the Creed-Obialo family, and is the youngest among them. Hence his name. Just like his dad, he is the hostile, aggressive, and raging child of the Creed-Obialo family, usually committing troublemaking acts such as theft and lying, and sometimes will go extra lengths just to get his own way, such as stealing the car keys to the minivan to drive to Games Plus to buy a new Xbox controller after his dad had broken in a previous video, in which he actually succeeds in doing so, only for said controller to be broken again by his dad, despite him buying the controller with his own money. He then steals the car keys again, this time over League of Legends cards, and instead of the Dead punishing Cody alone, he decides to blame Evander and Kian for his actions for no reason. Similar to his dad, Cody is usually seen playing video games or watching TV before someone interferes. In another video, he is seen dancing to the then popular song Watch Me Whip before he notices that Evander is recording him. Cody is also shown to lose his temper quite easily and is quite sensitive, such as when he breaks Evander's tablet just for the latter simply bothering him, and immediately after breaking the device, tries to pull the victim claiming that Evander is framing him. This obviously doesn't work as he then proceeds to repeatedly hit the tab with a staff, and when Evander tries to get him to stop, he threatens to attack him with it if he doesn't get back. In another video titled Raging Kid Fights for His Fidget Spinner, he slaps his older brother, Obi, just for him and Evander trolling him with his fidget spinner, showing that he is quite childish even for his age and seems to care more for a simple plastic toy than any of his family members. In the video titled Raging Kid Runs Me Over with Car, he actually attempts to murder Evander by running him over with the car that he had stolen in a previous video. He steals the car keys to drive to Games Plus to buy a new Xbox controller after his dad broke it in a previous video. He then steals the car keys again to do the same thing, this time over League of Legends cards. This is obviously illegal as he clearly doesn't have a license and isn't 16. However, when he steals the car for the last time, he actually does get chased by the cops, in which the officer states that if he ever sees him driving another motorized vehicle unauthorized, he will be sent to juvenile hall. In Raging Kid Steals Car over League of Legends, he locks Evander and Kian out of the house so that he can purchase $100 worth of League of Legends cards using Evander's credit card, which is fraud. In Raging Kid Smashes Tablet, he destroys Evander's tablet with a staff just for him simply bothering him like the average older sibling, and when the latter tries to get him to stop, he threatens to attack him with the wooden staff if he doesn't get back. However, immediately after breaking the tablet, he tries to pull the victim card claiming that Evander is framing him, even though the viewer can clearly see that it was him who broke the tablet on purpose and not Evander. He slaps his older brother, Obi, just for him, and Evander trolling him with his fidget spinner, clearly showing that he is quite childish even for his age, showing that he actually cares more for a plastic toy than any of his family members. Enraging Kid runs me over with car. Hence the title. He actually attempts to commit vehicular manslaughter on Evander by running him over with the car that he had stolen in a previous video, obviously putting the latter's life at risk, with Cody being apathetic of this. He along with his dad start a garage sale in which they attempt to sell all of Evander and Kian's shoes not too long after the dad had kicked them out, which is essentially theft as the two clearly didn't get permission from neither Evander nor Kian before selling them. Abilities. Despite his young and unauthorized age, he is shown to be quite good at driving, being able to drive to Games Plus multiple times in order to buy whatever he wants, albeit with his own money, with the latter usually failing as he is usually dragged back into the car before he can even buy what he wants in the store, and the only time where he actually succeeded was when he bought the Xbox controller, only for it to be destroyed, again, by his dad when they go back to the convertible.
The reason why Team Creed channel got terminated. Because Evander sold this channel to Artfido and Team Creed made a new account. It's named that comedy guy and his new account terminated as well. So that's why Team Creed it's never coming back to YouTube. That's the end of what happened to Team Creed. Like and subscribe for more.